Hi, I'm Sam, your inner voice and self-trust coach for women who refuse to choose between career success and being fully present with their kids. This is Journal Entries, where we break free from self-sabotage, reconnect with our inner wisdom, and live truly fulfilled lives in both of our roles. Let's dive in. Hello. Welcome to this week's journal entry. Something came up in a client session recently that I think is so relatable, and it also came up for me in a parenting aspect. And so when it came up in a client session, my client was talking about how there was something that was put on her plate throughout the day and it needed to get done. In the past, she would have been stressed out. She would have done it all herself because she didn't want to put anybody out. And then she would have felt annoyed that no one knows how much she does for her company. And I always think like that it's also a sprinkle of resentment. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just picking up on that. Now, she did actually delegate because we've been working together and she's done a lot of growth on herself. She's been doing a lot of work. She's been doing the things. So she did delegate to someone on her team that could help out, but they had a different suggestion on how it got done. And I believe they were also questioning the timeline, or there was someone else in play that was questioning the timeline. That same morning was when Griffin and I were outside playing and picking tomatoes, and he currently has a fascination with my car and driving. And so I caught him opening my car door and getting inside. The keys were inside the house, and so I knew that he was safe, and I let him play in there until I was ready to go back inside. So after a few minutes, I went to the car. I mean, it was right behind me, but he was sitting in the driver's seat. So I went up to the already opened door of the driver's side and I asked him to come out. He ignored me and he crawled into the back seat. So these are two situations where we have a goal. At work, the goal is to get the project done, right? And at home, in my example, the goal is to get the kid out of the car. Or in a broader sense, it's to get the kid to do what we want, or get your employees to do what we want. So often we are on autopilot and we just push through. We aren't present enough to pause, and we just stay committed to that default thought that pops up in our head in the moment. Like in the first example at work with my client, her first default thought was, I must do this work. Or since we've been working together, it transitioned to, I can delegate this, but I have to stay on top of it to ensure that it gets done today. And with my son, the default thought was, he must get out of the front door right now. And this is where my mantra or framework or mindset, whatever you want to call it, it helps so much. And it's this: stay committed to the outcome and stay open to how you get there. So stay committed to the outcome. That's the goal that we just talked about, the project getting completed and the kid getting out of the car. So really asking yourself, with whatever it is that you're facing, what is the priority, that end goal that you really care about that has to get done? And then with staying open to how you get there, the main question is, where is the flexibility? This can be challenging, especially if you're on autopilot and just kind of in the zone. And so some questions to ask yourself to open yourself up to flexibility. Does the timeline matter? Or if it feels urgent, is it really urgent? It might be, it might not be. Can more people get involved to help? Where are you being rigid because that's how you've always done it? Or maybe that's how you feel like you're expected to be doing it. You could even get your whole team or whole family involved and do the game where one person starts sharing a solution, but only the first part and one thing. And then the next member says the first thing and shares the second thing. And you keep building until you have a solution that actually works. So I'll share a quick example. So say the first team or family member says, we could all go outside. The second would say, we could all go outside and bring our lunch. The third might say, we could all go outside, bring our lunch, and play music. The fourth says, we could all go outside, bring our lunch, play music, and write ideas on paper airplanes. And then if you have a team or family of 4, then you go back to the first person. And they would say, we could all go outside, bring our lunch, play music, write ideas on paper airplanes, and the first paper airplane that gets stuck in a tree is the first idea that we read. And you just kind of build off, and somebody likely will make a joke in there, which makes it funny. And you have to say it. You just keep building, and you just keep going until you find a solution that works, or you find an action that your whole team or family can do that gets you to where you want. In my very specific instance with my son, I had enough presence in that moment to pause and realize that I actually don't care how he gets out of this car. He could get out of any door as long as he gets out. So with that front door open, and I said, time to get out. And I remember I had so much like internal energy. I don't know if you've ever felt that, where it's just like, it's like building. I don't know. I'm like clenching my hands as I'm saying this, but it's building. I had enough energy and presence to pause and say, I'm going to open the back door and the trunk door, and you can choose which one you want to get out of. And he just kept crawling to the back, and he said, I want to get out of the trunk. And I was like, great, let's get out of there. And then we're going inside. So all of this to say, how can you apply this to your life right now? Because I would love for this podcast to be an inspiring place for you to land, but also a place where you can take these journal prompts that I have for you and take these lessons, and it actually makes a difference in your life. So where are you holding on to a goal or an idea of how something should go, but you're feeling some frustration or resistance to it? Likely because it's not going as planned, or maybe it's something impromptu that was just thrown on your plate. In that instance that comes up for you, what is the end goal that must happen, and where can you be more flexible in getting there? Lots of times, opening yourself up to flexibility leads to fear. You might even feel that right away as I say that. Fear of maybe delegating and letting other people in on your projects or your business or your emotions and vulnerability. Or maybe the fear of releasing control and that need to do it all. This is where strategic journaling can help process those bigger emotions so that you can understand them, because all of those things, they were helpful and they like got you to where you are, which is an amazing human being. So understand them, understand how they benefited you, and understand why they aren't helpful anymore, and then release them and continue on with your life instead of just staying stuck in your same patterns. With that being said, I do have 2 open spots for private coaching right now. If you've been trying to do this on your own, but you keep finding yourself in that same spot. So reach out to me for a free 30-minute clarity call, or you can click the link in my show notes for full details on working together. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope that this week becomes easier for you as you become a little bit more flexible. I'll see you on Thursday for our journaling session. Thanks for joining me for today's journal entry. If something resonated with you, I'd love to know about it. Screenshot this episode, share it on social media, and tag me at samantha.s.says. Or even leave a review, which will help more women find this podcast to create more fulfillment in their career and as a mom. And hey, if you're thinking, I wish I could get more of this, I've got you covered. Click on the link in the show notes, which I customize each week based on what we're talking about. And I always include the link to the Calm Mind Blueprint, which are my 5 journal prompts to go from overwhelm to inner peace in 2 to 10 minutes a day. Subscribe so that you catch my Thursday 5-minute journal with me episodes and next week's full episode where we will continue this journey together. I'll see you then.